Hey, what's up, everybody, and welcome back to my 3 Takeaways episode from the Rich Redmond interview that I posted this past Monday. I hope that interview gave you some energy. I've gotten some feedback from a lot of people that Rich is just a dynamo, and just imagine if you got to saw him on stage or just talk with him on person or go watch him speak. He is an electric individual. If you've never watched any of his stuff on YouTube, now's the time to go look him up. Rich Redmond, he's got a podcast called The Rich Redmond Show. He's got some good drumming solos on there, a lot of good stuff. He's got some of his speeches on there, and you will get motivated, you will get energized. So make sure you look up Rich Redmond on YouTube. Make sure you guys share the podcast with a friend during this time of quarantine. I know a lot of people are struggling with motivation. A lot of people are struggling with drive to get up and get going and start taking action. And what they need is a podcast interview like this. They need someone like Rich to light a fuel under their butt, light a fire under their butt to get them going, and be that person who can give that kind of a spark to your friend or to your family member now by sending them this episode. But other than that, let's get right into my 3 takeaways. Number 1 is do whatever you can to prove yourself and your credibility. Now, Rich talked about early on when he moved to Nashville how he said yes to everything. He was always willing to go out and do as many gigs as possible. It didn't matter whether or not he thought the opportunity or the gig was going to turn into a big opportunity or turn into a great relationship. He always saw it as a way to build himself up, to practice his craft, and to build his brand. Because even if it's just one person that he was able to touch, that person probably knows 1,000 people. If one of those people tells somebody else, they also tell 1,000 people. We all have a network. So it only takes one individual to really take off. So you never know what opportunity could turn into a magnificent opportunity. That's why you've got to say yes to everything. I think this is really particular to his industry as well. I think in music, and I think a lot of industries, you've got to say yes to everything. I think in other industries, you might be a little bit more specific, especially once you develop and progress in your career. But I think early on, it's really important to say yes to everything because you're working on your craft and building your network. And that was one thing that Jimmy Allen brought up in my interview a long time ago with him, who is a country artist. He said yes to everything because of what I said earlier. He saw it as a way to practice his craft, practice his songs, practice his voice, because a lot of people aren't willing to do that. And when they get this huge gig, they get this huge opportunity, they're not able to seize it. But if you put in all the grunt work leading up to it and you say yes to everything and you perfect your craft, that way if a big opportunity or a big gig ever does come, you're fully able to seize the opportunity and take advantage of it. Takeaway number 2 is manifest a positive attitude. Like I already talked about, Rich has one of the most positive attitudes, probably one of the most optimistic, most energetic people I've ever met. And that is what he says is one of the keys to every single day, finding a way to have a positive attitude by exercising, by maybe listening to music. He creates a happiness playlist for himself that gets him going. I know every single one of you can take action on that. Every single one of you has songs that you listen to that immediately get you into a good mood. So go on Spotify, create a new playlist, call it a happiness playlist, and add songs that get you into a good mood. And if you ever feel like you're down in the dumps, put that on and see if it immediately makes you smile and immediately gets you a little bit more energized. The other thing that he mentioned, and the thing that I do, is write a gratitude list every single morning. It's not even necessarily about the 3 things that you write down. It's reframing your brain and reshaping your brain to practice looking for the things that you're grateful for. Every single morning, I have to think of things that I am grateful for, and that almost wires my brain to be thinking about things and viewing things in that way throughout the rest of the day. So I really think that that's a great way to bring a positive attitude into your daily life. Takeaway number 3 was educate yourself in your area. He talked about how a lot of people reach a certain level of success and they get a little bit complacent with the knowledge they have in their particular field, and they stop learning, they stop studying. But he talks about he's trying to be a drummer, or all at the same time, a drummer, actor, speaker, all of these different things. And he's just consistently studying in those areas, even though he's reached basically the pinnacle of drumming. I mean, he's been the drummer for Jason Aldean for over 20 years, and he's drummed with Ludacris, for Kelly Clarkson, for so many different people. He's at the pinnacle of his career, but he is still stressing the importance of studying and learning how to get better. And when he said this, I really thought of something in particular from a past interview from Tay Sweat. Now, if you didn't listen to that interview, one of the things Tay talked about in our podcast was to study in the dip. If you're ever feeling a little bit of a dip in your business, this was his specific example. Whenever he feels a dip in his business, that's when he needs to realize that he needs to study more, learn the market more, learn about different products or services that he could be providing. And I think that's pertainable to all areas of life. If you ever feel like you're down in your relationships, in your job, in your personal life, in a sport that you're partaking in, if you ever feel like you're down, study that thing, study that sport, study your job, study relationships, study communication to figure out what you're doing wrong and figure out where the gaps are between your current level of not really succeeding and a level of success, and figure out what you can do to start filling that gap. So again, guys, my 3 takeaways. Number 1 is do whatever you can to prove yourself and your credibility. I really think this is pertainable early on, especially by saying yes to everything, by seeing every opportunity, not as a big opportunity to maybe pursue in your career, but as a big opportunity to perfect your craft and to grow your brand, because you never know if you touch one person how much that might spread. Takeaway number 2 was manifest a positive attitude. Find a way to create energy for yourself every single day, because motivation is a practice. Motivation isn't something that you wake up with every single day. Zig Ziglar always talks about you don't shower just one time and think that you're clean for the rest of your life. Showering is a daily habit because you need to consistently stay clean. Motivation is a daily habit. You need to find a way to consistently stay motivated. Number 3 was educate yourself in your area. Don't get complacent with any level of success. Always find a way to study, to research, to learn more, to figure out where the gaps are between your current level of success and the next level of success. I hope you guys enjoyed these 3 takeaways. I hope they allow you to take some sort of action in your life so that you can get to that next level of success in your personal life, in your relationships, at your job, whatever it is, your health. I hope this allows you to start taking action, because yes, I talked about studying here, but you can only study so much. Once you get to the point where you're just studying, you've got to have at some point some sort of implementation. You can't just read book after book or listen to podcast after podcast and affect your life to dramatically change simply from listening or reading. You have to take the next step in applying it and taking action and implementing those things that you've learned to see yourself get to that next level of success. So I hope you enjoyed this. Make sure you share it with a friend. I hope something in here helps you, helps your friend, helps your family member get a little bit closer and closer to your best you.